Today I will be providing March Madness stats to help you win your bracket pool. Here's the first round results of each seed since 2018. Something to take note of is that it's been 50-50 in 6 seed versus 11 seed matchups. Since 2002, there have been 82 Final Four teams seeded 10 or better. 70 of those 82 teams were top 50 on both sides of the ball according to KenPom, which is 85.4% of teams. Of the 74 teams to make the Final Four as a top 5 seed since 2002, only one has been outside of the top 22 in KenPom. Only 5 of 171 top 6 seed teams since 2002 have made the Final Four, being outside of the top 50 on one side of the ball. 20 of the last 23 national champions were top 6 in KenPom. 14 of the last 19 5 seeds to be upset were outside the top 50 in either offense or defense. 14 of the last 19 12 seed upsets were by a team top 60 in KenPom, and 16 out of 19 were by a team top 60 in KenPom on at least one side of the ball. 11 of the last 17 13 seed upsets were top 80 in KenPom and or top 50 on one side of the ball. 7 of the last 21 number 1 KenPom teams have made the Final Four. All 7 were top 10 in KenPom offense and defense. Duke is number 1, and they are top 10 in both offense and defense. 76% of top 5 seeded Final Four teams were top 30 offensively and top 35 defensively. Every top 6 seed to make the Elite 8 has been top 26 on at least one side of the ball. Oregon and Memphis are not top 26 on either. Only 4 out of the last 38 number 1 overall seeds have won the championship. Auburn is the number 1 overall seed. A 6th seed has not made the Final Four in 37 years. 17 of the last 144 Final Four teams were seeded 6 or worse, which is 11.8%. 26 of the last 50 to Final Four teams were 1 or 2 seeds. No team seeded 12 or higher has ever made it past the Elite 8. In 8 of the 10 last championships, the number 2 or 3 overall seeds were in it, which are Duke and Houston. 6 out of 10 won it all. The last 13 non-UConn champions were top 15 in the preseason AP poll and the first AP poll of the new year. 28 out of 33 champions were top 11 in the preseason AP poll. Every champion of the last 20 years was in the top 12 of the Week 6 AP poll. In 9 of the last 39 seasons, the national champion was the team with the most weeks spent as the number 1 seed in the AP poll, which is Auburn. No 1 or 2 seed has ever made the Final Four if they were not ranked in the preseason. 55% of these teams lost on the first weekend. The teams that this applies to is St. John's and Michigan State. 21 of the last 21 non-UConn champions have had an efficient field goal percentage of 49.5 or higher. 16 were above 53%. 15 of the last 18 non-UConn champions had at least 3 players who shot at least 35% on three-pointers and or 1 player who shot 40% on three-pointers. 83 of the last 84 Final Four teams have shot at least 32.4% from 3. 19 of the last 21 national champions have had a positive turnover margin, and 37 of the last 44 Final Four teams have had a positive turnover margin. 81 of the last 82 Final Four teams have had a rebounding percentage of at least 50%. Every national champion since 1990 has made at least the semifinals in their conference tournament. 12 of the last 13 national champions have had a guard projected to get drafted. Teams favored by 5 or more points win 85% of the games in the first round since 1996. Teams favored by less than 5 points have only won 54.4% of games in the first round. Thanks for watching.